but it's too gory. No gun plus no one to shoot for me. All they wanna know is what you gonna do, what you gonna do for me. This a true story.
Welcome to the TKO Show. I'm TKO. Let's get started. I got my coffee here. And I wanted to start, really honestly, I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Like, subscribe, all of the YouTube stuff. I want to send a really big shout out to Tyrone Magnus and Jody's Corner. I followed these two guys for many years. I watched them grow, I watched them climb, I watched them react to different videos, and big fan. So when I started my YouTube channel and I reached out to them, they were like one of the first 10 people to subscribe. So that's beautiful. You know, I hung it up that day. I was like, I did good. So shout out to those guys that are successful in this field, and hopefully I can, interact with them in the future. They do a lot of Marvel associated material, but shout out to those guys. Those guys are the foundation of kind of what I want to gravitate to. I started this out wanting to do music reviews, and I'll still do that. I'll make that available. But I first wanted to just get into who I am, give you a reason to come back to the channel if you don't know who I am. And for people familiar, like I said, I got my coffee. I'm about to put this away. Yes. Okay, so I want to deep dive in. And first off, I want to talk about, why I have this channel, and the main thing that I want to get across. The experience of being a music artist is something that a lot of people will relate to. And I wanted to kind of go through that. I kind of wanted to talk about my experience with that. We all have a different experience. I feel like I grew up with hip hop, and a lot of people will probably say the same thing. And to become part of it was like the best thing for someone like me. And step by step, I can talk about how we got to that point. And I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of similar things, but then I have that opportunity to be that guy who did something different, and how those differences affected me, affected people around me, affected me mentally, the long-term effects of how success looks, success can be, how success can not really be that. It can appear that way, and fake it till you make it is something that, like I said, we didn't really do, but it felt like it was a necessary thing to promote ourselves a certain way to gain. And I'll get to that. I'll explain that better when I get to how I went from having no streams to 20 million streams. How did you get 20 million streams without buying all of that, or without some sort of scheme? And there's a step-by-step process to that. There's a lot of factors, and that's something I want to eventually get to. But first, I got to get to the beginning stages of why all that happened. So, when I think back with hip hop and why I do what I do, it's a music thing. It comes from music. And I think everybody who does music, it started somewhere. And mine wasn't even hip hop at all. I wasn't even introduced to hip hop until much later. And like many people, I was taken by Michael Jackson. And although he looked dramatically different over the years, this is a black man. So as a young man, that was powerful looking to be in a world where I always hear about how the outside world is going to come for me because of my skin. And the world seemed to love that man. So I'm like, we can get past that. So that's kind of how I took Michael Jackson in the beginning. And the music is what was in front of us. You don't hear me bumping that now, but I get a nostalgic feeling when I listen to that, because that's my introduction to it. I wasn't really introduced to hip hop into like the outskirts of what I consider hip hop. Like my aunt introduced me to TLC. And there was a lot of music around there, but I just remember TLC had that hip hop vibe to him, which eventually pushed me over to MC Hammer. And you can laugh, but run up on Hammer. And then Crisscross. And that's funny too, but I understood what they could be. And Crisscross, they were my age, you know? So I had the backwards pants on and I wanted to have my hair like that. I think I probably did for a little while. I remember going to Philly because my father is from the East Coast. And we went to visit, and I just remember walking the streets, all the vendors, and I'm trying to find a new Crisscross joint, a little cassette with the B-side. And DeBrat was on the B-side with this instrumental, so I would like start rapping a little bit, but it was like nothing substantial. So yeah, Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and Crisscross. It wasn't until I was introduced to a song called Regulate that I really started gravitating to like hip hop, like gangster rap. And I wasn't really from that, you know. My dad tried to pull us away from all that. I think I gravitated myself to certain things that I realized were wrong eventually, but yeah, he pulled us away from that. I didn't have a super street life, and I've never portrayed that either. So when you think about it, the type of music that I was interested in was something that had nothing to do with me, but you know, it's the environment I was around. I was very young around, you know, rough neighborhoods, but this is what was going on. And this was a depiction of that lifestyle that I saw around me as a kid that we were pulled from. You know, we didn't have that super rough life. With Regulate, I remember trying to get the cassette of that too. I just was like, this is a new sound. You know, BET, MTV is very popular at this point. And I remember getting the single, and the other side had all the bad words. And I was like, there's something rougher. There's a different side of hip hop that I don't know about. And my dad wasn't like protecting me. I'm a kid, you know, I'm not thinking about it. You know, some people are like, you weren't into this and that from hip hop. I'm like, no, I just wasn't exposed to it. Then I got exposed to Snoop. Same thing happened. I heard the TV version, and then I hear the B-side with all the bad words. I'm like, this is, what is this? This is crazy. But I got past all that. You know, it was a shock, but it was like the music and the people and the vibe. I immediately gravitated to that. But it was Gin and Juice that made me love hip hop, right? And that's when I knew I was like, I want to absorb as much of this as I can. From there, I'm like, I found out all about Cube and NWA, and I'm just bumping everything on the West Coast. I started gravitating it down south. I learned about East Coast through all my friends from high school, James and Red, you know, from the school bus. These two guys who they gave me a lot. They gave me a lot of those tools. You know, I started understanding hip hop a lot better. And then I met a friend, Cam. Cam introduced me. I don't know if he introduced me to him, because I remember hearing this group before, but he sounded like Bone, Thugs in Harmony. I never heard anything like that. And I became an instant fan. And I was right there becoming a fan when they were transitioning to their second big album, like becoming really popular with the Crossroads song. I remember going to Mall of America this one time, just like trying to find their first album when they were Bone Enterprise. I was so infatuated with that style and just their upbringing and just the look. I try to embody that. I try to look like that. I try to sound like that, because that's when I started trying to rap. Bone Thugs and Harmony inspired me to rap. It was because of my friend who sounded like that. He rapped like that. He was phenomenal. He was in high school just snapping his fingers, and I admired that. So when he left and I started developing my own style and wanting to be that, I wanted to be that. It was Bone. My first rap name was Easy Bone. E-Z Bone. Like, what is that? And I gravitated to TKO, and I'll explain that, but it all started with Bone. So that's one of those parallels that makes this experience interesting, because I explained it more in detail, and I have a book where I'll go through all of this in detail. But to be inspired by Bone, and then to however many decades later, I opened for Bone. That was my biggest show in this whole run that I'm going to go through, going to Lincoln and opening for that group and seeing that crowd and experiencing them live together for the first time. I opened for Lazy Bone maybe a year or two before that, but the full circle moment of that, it just all comes back to this. That's why I go through all this, because I started with hip hop because of Bone. So I credit them. And something weird happened in high school that I'll go through one day. I'll explain it. I still have like paper clippings, but it was a weird experience that always made me question why that happened. It was something music related that felt like something was going to happen. Something was hyped up. It got out. It got out to the school, and it never transpired into anything. You know, it never became anything. And I held on to that so hard and for so long, and wonder why me, and why that happened to me, why that situation even came about. So I used that, and I just kept writing. I kept writing, and gravitated away from the Bone sound. I started becoming somebody who was infatuated with hip hop in a way where I stopped listening to other music. That's why I don't have such a connection with other genres, or genres like I want to, or I wanted to. I've expanded in years, but I was so connected to hip hop that I studied it. I listened to every coast, every corner, underground, mainstream. I had it all. I had every disc. I was studying. And I put a lot of that to paper. I had a suitcase for many years that just started filling up. Everywhere I would move, I just had that suitcase. And I got a 4-track recorder. And I started learning how to just rap into that. Full breath takes for full songs. And I was just crafting it. Me and my brother. And my brother's like the centerpiece of all of this, actually. But with that 4-track recorder, we were making our own beats and putting those beats on the 4-track. And then I would rap in to the little mic. These beats were made with a game called MTV Music Generator 2. And we got so good at making these beats and manipulating it to sound better than the presets that was my whole catalog. I started putting these records to CD in 2004, crediting my brother. He's the tech guy of all of this. My whole story of anything that has to do with tech has to do with my brother. And yeah, for that whole year, 2004, all I did was write, make beats. When my girlfriend / soon-to-be wife at the time would leave with the kids, I would rush downstairs, I would record. When they're sleeping, I would be quick mixing. I had to learn how to do all this stuff on my own just to make it listenable. When I was making CDs, every single month in 2004, I had a 16 to 20 song album, and I was passing these little discs out to people I work with. I'm still friends with some of these people to this day. Actually, the very first person that subscribed to this channel is someone I worked with at a arcade, and I gave him a CD, and he was a part of a band, Vernaculars. Shout out to them. So it's just one of those things where everything was leading up to me eventually doing this music thing. Like, this is step by step. I'm doing it. I'm actually releasing these little bootleg projects that I'll just send out to a few friends. And 2005 goes by, and then I think it was by 2006 I was introduced to internet beats. So Now I'm like seriously stealing beats. They still got the tags on them. I'm not releasing them or doing anything like that, online. I don't know anything about that at that point. So I'm actually doing less. I start doing less projects, but I'm getting better at my craft every year from 2006 to 7, 8, 9. I've met different people through different walks of life, and I'm handing my music out, and I'm living life still. I never quit the day job to this day. And that's where a lot of the support I've gotten over the years are from people I've just met along the way before I even knew about a music scene. So eventually it gets to a point where I'm doing music with a few friends. One of those friends is someone I work with, Danelle. Another one, Damien. And the other one is my brother. And we're the 402 boys. And this is me and these guys in the basement. You go to my YouTube, my original records are all there. And that was when I was like, okay, I'm liking this a little bit more. I want us to get out there because I felt like I had some people with me. I'm not alone in this, and they're crediting me. Everyone seems to give me good feedback. My cousin Jashawn, he's always been like the greatest hype man next to my brother, next to my actual hype man, who I'll get into eventually. Then I was introduced to YouTube right around that time, and I had been releasing like everything that I was doing that had tags, a couple songs that I made beats to, the 402 Boys songs. And then it was Danelle, who goes by Datman. We got a record on my YouTube too, y'all should check it out. Shout out to Datman. But yeah, once I got on YouTube, I started really seeing I can get reach. And that's powerful, when you've been doing music for a decade to yourself and your friends, and everyone's like, you should do something. And I'm always talking about how great I am on the records, but I don't really believe that. I don't know what my competition is out there. It's just something you say in your head. You try to believe that you're great. You try to achieve that. You try to achieve that greatness. You don't expect to get there. I wasn't really chasing anything. That's unbelievable. So now that Danelle is trying to get me to get out there, I meet a rapper named Cataract. And Cataract introduces me to the idea of the music scene out there. He's a producer, and I went to a show, but I wasn't really there for the show. I look at the atmosphere, so I don't really consider that as the first show. But then I went and did some digging on my own. And that's when I came across a battle, the CBA, the Central Battle Association. Omaha guys. Like, these guys are from Omaha. It wasn't intimidation. It was more like, it was so eye-opening because I had always heard that Omaha rappers sounded real street, less lyrical, and I was on that I'm trying to be the best lyrical guy type shit. So the Battle Association shocked the hell out of me, right? And the very first video I saw was a rapper named Saint Mike. And he was battling somebody who I don't remember the name, and I apologize. But he was so confident that he had won that battle that he was pointing out another rapper and targeting him and saying, basically, you're next. For anybody that's seen that, y'all know that was crazy. That's probably happened a lot, but at that point, 2013, I had never seen that. Not from Omaha especially. I had seen a couple battles. I had like the Blaze battle on video cassette or something like that. So I'm like, Mike is in Omaha? So let me look further. And Mike was battling the rapper that he was targeting. And that rapper's name was Opposite. St. Mike and Opposite are phenomenal battle rappers. And I say that with all respect. And I say that with respect to everybody that was part of the CBA, because I never did that. I never wanted any L's. I always figured that I'm releasing music because that's my lane and I can't lose there. And I commend them for taking the risk of loss, because I just didn't need that. But I thrived in that atmosphere. I love watching it. I love being in the crowd. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to host it. I almost tried to do it. No, I would never do that. It's just, there's some things that some people don't understand when they say, oh, you're trying to discredit yourself. Don't ever put yourself down. Like, no, I know my limitations. I'm a writer who built myself into a performer or a recording artist, but I'm not really a freestyler. Me and my brother can freestyle for hours. We've recorded so much of it, and that's our way of hanging out and developing. I developed a whole lot through freestyling, but I don't have that, oh, you're dope, rap right now. Like, I got 1,000 records in my head, but my brain doesn't work that way. And that's my shortcoming. That's okay. That's not me saying these guys are better than me, or you say on records you're great. Yes, I'm great at writing. I'm great at manipulating it into music. I'm great at performing to some people. Like I said, I never really felt like I was that great of a performer, but I built myself into that. And some people are born naturally with some great gifts. And those two battle rappers are gifted in that lane. Just like people would say, oh, Gene, you're gifted in your lane. I can't do what they do. That's not me saying that they're better or that I'm better at anything else. That's me saying that I appreciate their lane. I don't want to do that. So I hit up St. Mike on Facebook. And Mike was cool, you know. Mike, my complexion, my height, wavy hair. I'm like, if he could do that, I could do that. And he invited me to my first actual hip hop show, which was May 5th, 2013 at the Waiting Room. And I just remember me and my brother walking into the venue, and that was it. As soon as I walked in that door, I was part of the Omaha, Nebraska music scene. And next time I talk about all this, I'll get into all of that. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was some insight to who I am and where this is going and what I want to provide to hip hop and provide to YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's part of this. Everybody who supports this, and yeah, give me a like, give me some shares, give me some subs. I appreciate all that. Whatever I can do in return, if I can ever do it in return, I will. But for now, that was the TKO Show Episode 2. Thank you.